I like to start by sharing that I stutter when I speak, and I first started stuttering when I was 8 years old, and quickly got speech therapy from then until my early 20s. And then in my late 20s, decided to go to graduate school to become a speech therapist. So that's actually what I do for work now. So if anyone in the chat has questions about stuttering, or just general questions for myself, then please ask them, and I will do my best to answer as many questions as I can. And if there are no questions, then I'll just share some personal experiences about life as a stutterer too. So just people saying hi so far. So I will start off with a story. I so quite often stutterers or a misconception about stutterers is that they are less intelligent, but that's not true. There's research to back that stutterers that stuttering does not impact intelligence whatsoever. So I was always very quiet when I was in school, and quite often when I was called on to answer questions by the teacher, I would not talk or even if I knew what the answer was, I would shrug and say that I didn't know, because I was too embarrassed to stutter in front of my classmates, because sometimes you could get laughed at. But even with that, I was a pretty, or I was a relatively smart kid, but I would rarely talk. And so I remember one year in school, my teacher from the previous year recommended that I get put in the lower level classes because I wouldn't talk much and and I would say that I didn't know answers to questions, or if I was forced to read, I was stuttering a lot. So they interpreted that as, oh, okay, well, he's just not a strong reader. It can't be that he's stuttering. He just doesn't really know how to read. And so my teacher put me in lower level classes, not knowing that I stutter, and not knowing that I was pretty with it, at least intelligence wise. I just was perceived that I wasn't, because I would barely talk. So little kids who stutter, who are going through school, they may be perceived as less intelligent because they're not talking as much, or if they're reading in class, they are stumbling over words. It's not that they can't read necessarily. It's just that they stutter. Um, so I just wanted to share that little story, um, which was a difficult time for me, but my mom fought for me and said that I don't belong in those lower level classes, and then they moved me out of them, and we had more communication with the teachers that I stutter and what that means, and at least the teachers knew what was going on. So yeah, if anyone has questions about stuttering, then please share them in the chat, and I will respond. Um, uh, so someone says I did the same in school. Yeah, it is. It's really tough, growing up knowing that you're different, and knowing that other people don't necessarily perceive that, well. So you often feel less than most of your peers. Hi, Travis. What do you like to do outside of your job? Any hobbies, like creative stuff? Yeah. Well, I love board games and card games and riddles. Those are my favorite things. I I play volleyball a few days a week. I rock climb, casually. I I love cooking. I love the thrifting. Um, Creative stuff. I used to draw a bit, and I really liked using oil pastels, um, and I haven't in a little while, actually. So I may pick that back up. Reading out loud is my kryptonite to this day. Yeah, same. Though research is showing that typically for stutterers, reading tends to be a little bit easier than just speaking, because when we read, it is typically at a less demanding level than than what our typical vocabulary is. Um, so we will read less complex words than what we typically speak. Likewise, we don't have to use that extra brain power to like formulate thoughts and then figure out word choicing and proper syntax and stuff like that, compared to when we just read. So reading typically means we will stutter a little bit less, but it's not guaranteed to. Yes. Stop stuttering, you just have to think of the word before you say it, and keep practicing, and it will work. Trust me. That is the Steve Harvey advice. That is false. Stutterers already know what they want to say. They know how to say it. It's just that our brains process language differently. So sometimes when we try and speak, our words will get stuck. Thinking about our words more than we already do does nothing. Now, the part of that can sometimes be helpful is when we pause in our speech. That kind of breaks up our speaking pattern, and thereby sometimes reduces our stuttering. It is not a guarantee. It sometimes works. It sometimes doesn't. But the idea that thinking of what you want to say and saying it in your head 3 times before saying it, that's false. And yeah, so there's that. There's no cure for stuttering. So pretty much, if you make it to your teens and you still stutter, you will stutter for life. There are strategies to better manage your stuttering, um, but that Steve Harvey method is false. Someone asking me to say a tongue twister. I can say it, but I'm choosing not to. Love from India. Thank you. I've actually been there twice. Yeah, it was a lot of fun mostly. Have you tried being relaxed? Ah, man, I never thought of that. Um, yeah, I mean, if there's something to that partially, if you are more anxious or stressed or exhausted, you typically will stutter more. They're not causes though. So yes, being relaxed can help you not stutter as hard sometimes, but that's I don't know, just like telling someone to relax. Not great advice. Travis, it's awesome that you put yourself out there like this to share with everyone about stuttering and your daily life. Thank you. Also, you're handsome. You're a cool dude. Thank you very much. Is Gareth Gates still the most famous person with a stutter? I can't picture who Gareth Gates is. So people who are famous who do stutter are Emily Blunt. She has a well, it's perceived to be a mild stutter. John Stossel. The two of them did an interview about stuttering last year. That was pretty good. Um, Samuel L. Jackson has a mild one. Bruce Willis, um, James Earl Jones. So they're definitely famous people who stutter. Definitely more mild ones, though. Uh, that is awesome. You sound like a really active guy. Maybe you'll use the oil pastels again. If you like board games, have you ever tried tabletop role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons? Yes, actually, I've done one campaign of D&D, and it was fun. I would definitely do more. Um, Actually, my group of friends that I did that with, we all stutter, and we met at a stuttering intensive program, um, like a speech therapy thing, and yeah, it was great. Is it possible to develop a stutter as an adult? Yes, most commonly through a stroke or from trauma, causing a TBI. Um, it is very unlikely to develop a stutter as an adult. Apart from that, um, I'm sure that it's happened, but very, very unlikely. The King's Speech movie is all about that reading with a stutter. Yeah, that yes, that's certainly part of it. They also kind of um, target the reading in a different way because they include several strategies with that reading in the film at least. But yeah, for sure. Have you tried therapy? Because I've heard stuttering is fixable. There is no cure for stuttering. I have been to a dozen different speech therapists. I am a speech therapist now. I focus on stuttering at my private practice. Um, there is no cure for stuttering. there are strategies that can be learned to better manage your stutter, but there's no cure. Hey, just found your channel. I have mild stuttering. I hold back so much in life. You're really brave and cool. Thank you. I still hold myself back because of stuttering. This is a lifelong journey for us. So, unfortunately, there's no magic fix where we can just take a pill and wake up the next day and stop stuttering. This is lifelong, and it does impact most decisions in my life, for sure. But good luck to you, and please know that you're not alone. So at first grade of school, I had a bestie, and when I first went to her house, I met her parents. Her dad was stuttering, and I got used to it, but we haven't met for years with her, but I do meet her dad. Yeah, I think most people, if they were just exposed to more stuttering, then like it would be totally fine, and stutterers would be less self-conscious, less embarrassed, feel like less of a burden for taking up more time. um, for sure, and that's my main reason for doing this channel, to spread stuttering awareness and education to better normalize it, so stutterers don't have to feel so different. Is it easier to sing for you? Yeah, so most stutterers can sing without stuttering. Um, uh, Different reasons are within our brain. There are slightly different active points when we sing versus when we talk. Likewise, singing with a rhythm or a beat tends to be pretty helpful, and singing uses what's called continuous voicing, which really helps maintain flow and get our sounds out. Versus when we talk, there are lots of pauses and breaks that discontinue that voicing. For some reason, I stutter a bit when talking English, but when I talk Dutch, which is my language, I don't. Yeah, research is pretty split, where roughly half of stutterers will stutter more in their primary language, and the other half will stutter more in their secondary languages. And we don't really know why. if you stop and take a deep breath right now and relax, you will stop for a bit. That's false. Yeah, we can stop talking and we can take a breath and try and relax. But that's not a guarantee that our words will come out fluently when we start talking again. Um, Breathing is important with our speech for sure. Relaxing can be helpful, but that that won't make us never stutter. We will stutter. Um, so that was false. But um, yeah, I I'm not trying to like call people out for bad advice. I'm just trying to share, hey, there are misconceptions out there about stuttering, and I'm just trying to spread a little more education about it. Where are you from? I was born outside of Philadelphia in the United States, and now I live outside of Boulder, Colorado. Are there different levels of stuttering? Um, yes and no. So there are three main ways that people stutter. There's repetitions, la 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 la, like that. There's prolongations, like that, and there's silent blocks, like that, where you try and get sound out, but there's no sound that comes at all. So with that, with those three ways that stuttering presents itself, we all kind of still stutter uniquely and in slightly different ways. Severity can range as well. Maybe someone gets stuck for half a second on a word. Someone else may frequently get stuck for 15 seconds on a word. So it totally varies. Hi, Travis. I find your channel really interesting. You have a pleasant voice. Thank you. Is it typical for stutterers to have such a pristine pronunciation? Ooh. I would say no. I think most stutterers, um, depending on their level of acceptance and and their comfortableness with talking, will totally vary in how their speech presents itself. Um, I I'm a speech therapist, so I'm pretty conscious of how I talk. Um, Likewise, I have worked a lot on communicating in general. Um, so I may be slightly more unique in that way compared to most stutterers. I'm a little lost, just arrived, and do not understand well what is the issue. Yeah. So welcome. I, I stutter when I speak, and and for anyone that has questions about stuttering, then I'm here to answer as many questions as I can. Is stuttering due to genetics? Quite often, yes, that's one component of it. Um, about 60% of stutterers have someone else in their family that also stutters. Um, so, so if a parent stutters, their child is more likely to develop a stutter as well, compared to a kid from parents that don't stutter. Um, yeah, and the other main factor in the cause of stuttering is neurological. So differences in brain structure and function. So my brain just processes language a little bit differently than most people's. There is a cure, magic mushrooms. Yeah, so that became famous with Paul Stamets, who is probably like the most well-known dude that studies fungi. Um, he apparently used to stutter severely and then took a bunch of mushrooms and then had a wild experience, woke up the next day and stopped stuttering. I have a video sharing my experiences with all of that stuff, with different psychedelics. Uh, I have definitely benefited psychologically from them, but I, as you can see, still stutter. So that is not a cure. Maybe anecdotally, for some people, it can be. Research is like non-existent on it, and well, because of certain laws that most countries have. Like you don't have some part of chromosome. Is it like a mutation? No. So there have been three genes that have been identified to be associated with stuttering. It is not like a chromosomal mutation, um, at least not from my understanding of it. So yeah. Does stuttering have anything to do with Parkinson's? No. Parkinson's does impact the person's voice, though, but typically stuttering is not part of that at all, actually. Uh, People trying to give advice as if you don't know the reality of stutters better than them is quite funny. Yeah, that's fair. I concede that there's loads that I don't know. Um, but yeah, pretty much the advice that I get in the comments are things that I've heard, or just like common misconceptions where someone has heard that this thing worked once for one person and they never looked into it, and it turns out that it's it doesn't actually work. But that's okay, because we need more awareness and education out there. So that's totally fine. Man, I used to stutter as a kid to know that I'm with you. Thank you very much. That's awesome. How tall are you, guy? I'm 6 foot 1 inch. Um, I don't know what that is in meters. Sorry, but 6'1". Can you laugh? Yeah. So stuttering does not impact laughing. More reflexive and automatic responses come out easier for stutterers. So laughing is one of those. Um, so that's why sometimes in my videos you may see someone ask me a question, and then I can typically respond very quickly with yes or no, because that's a more reflexive and uh, automatic response. Even though I have mild stuttering, I am not even close to being this brave. Um, Man, there are some days when I feel awful, and don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to talk at all. Um, but I've made a goal to put myself in at least one speaking situation per day and make a video about it. And that has helped me drastically. So with that consistency, it's great. And yeah, I have days still when I don't feel confident and I don't feel brave, but I, I've got a goal that I have to do it. So I would urge you to try it out as well, and maybe just by doing one speaking situation per day, you will become a little bit more confident, hopefully. Why do you said Travis so fast now, and sometimes you stutter? Yeah, so stuttering is very inconsistent. So sometimes I may get stuck on a word for 10 seconds. Sometimes the very next time that I say that word, I won't get stuck at all on it. There's no quota that we have to stutter this much, or there's no guarantee that we will always stutter on a word. It is just by nature very inconsistent. which is my least favorite thing about stuttering, because some people see me talk kind of fluently sometimes, and then I get stuck on a word for like 30 seconds, and they're confused as to what's going on. Um, it's frustrating, but that's just what happens with stuttering. Boy, I might be behind in the chat because I see some supers came in as well, and I haven't reached them. So I will skip some of the regular chat to find some of the supers and some other questions. Thanks for being so so with it. The chat, that's awesome. You made me feel. I'm sorry. You made me a lot more confident in my speaking. Ignore the haters. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your struggles. Please find us as your friends to lean on. Thank you. Yeah, most of you all have been very, very positive, and I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. All right, light bow for $2. Thank you very much. Says if you scream or get angry, does the stutter change? It can. So typically when you scream, it is a more reflexive response. So you are sometimes less likely to stutter then. However, being angry does increase your stuttering. So stuttering is often tied to your emotions. So if you're extra anxious or stressed or mad or tired, you typically will stutter more. So screaming, it'll kind of vary. If it's a reflexive scream, then probably you won't stutter as much. If you are screaming at someone for a couple minutes, then you will probably stutter a bit more. How old are you? I'm 34. My question is in your thoughts, do you stutter? Stuttering does not impact our thoughts. We we um, we think perfectly fine. It is just when we physically talk out loud when we stutter. So our thoughts are stutter free. So if I read a book out loud, I will stutter. If I read it in my head, I will not stutter. Do you watch Survivor? In the newest season, there's a contestant named Mitch who had a stutter, and it's got to be the first representation of someone with a stutter in mainstream entertainment. Yeah, I don't watch it, but I saw that one clip with him talking about stuttering and his preferences. That's awesome. I know stuttering has been I guess portrayed in media before. However, uh, it's always non-stutterers that act with the stutter, and they all typically stutter in a very similar way. So Mitch has a bit of a more severe stutter in that the frequency and duration is a bit more. Also, the way that he stutters, there were some blocks in there. So yeah, it's awesome seeing that because typically you just don't see it. Uh, Sorry, just scrolling through some unneeded comments. Yeah, I don't have any mods. I don't really know how to set that up. Um, if someone wants to help me with that, then that would be great. I'm still pretty new to live streaming, so I do see some nonsense comments. Boy, still scrolling. I'm sorry, y'all. If you can sing more easily than normal speaking, does that translate to all music? If you were to sing along with a hip hop song, for example. Yeah, so most stutterers can sing without stuttering. Um, Often rapping is included in that. I might get stuck every so often when I rap. Typically, when I first start it, um, but yeah, it's still continuous voicing in a way that regular speaking is not. You are still following a rhythm and a beat, which is helpful. And singing and talking use slightly different areas of the brain. So by rapping, that is a different speech pattern than your typical speech. So so it'll take different parts of the brain to kind of focus and bring that out than just talking. Did you ever try to sing your words? Yeah, I've tried. It's surprisingly difficult to once you're stuck on a word to sing it out. Um, Singing and talk singing are just kind of different. So it is tougher. Jacob Sanders with the $5 super chat. You've stated that stuttering is neurological. Can you explain this more on a brain scientific level? Great job on the channel. Much love. Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, I can explain a bit there. There is so much that research still has yet to find. So 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 stuttering is it typically has a neurological component. So there are differences in how the brain functions and is structured. So 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 we just process language a little bit differently. Um, One thing that appears to be true with stutterers versus non-stutterers is different quantities of white matter versus gray matter in the brain, um, which can impact our processing and timing. Um, Now, we don't really know if that difference happened at birth and then it impacts our language and makes us stutter, or if our brains were more typical at birth and then we started stuttering for some reason, and by stuttering we changed the neurochemistry of our brain. We don't really know. um, and another difference with our brains appears to be, now it may not be always, but appears to be that stutterers use their right hemisphere more when, like, it's more active when we talk, compared to non-stutterers. So so the language parts of our brain are dominated in the left side of our brain, and stutterers, when we speak, our right hemisphere is more active, which may be because our left side, where language is dominant, is just not really lighting up for some reason. So our right side is trying to pull more weight. So yeah, that is more about the neurological differences between stutterers and non-stutterers. Adonis King sent a super for $1. Thank you very much. Good Lord. Yeah, I do need some mods. Sorry, that this chat is so ridiculous. Boy. Sorry, still scrolling. some of the this chat is wild. So I'm just going to scroll down a fair bit to see what other people are saying. Hi, Travis. Genuine question. And what ways can stuttering help shape you in a positive way? That is a cool question. I have found I am typically a very patient person, and I am forced to be because I stutter, and it takes me longer to get my words out. Uh, so I'm patient with myself and with others more than I think I would be if I did not stutter. And one other positive about stuttering is it forces me to be vulnerable with people right away. I can't really hide it. Um, and a lot of people have walls that they put up when they meet strangers for the first time, and I have found that because of my stuttering, it kind of shows them, hey, uh, I'm being vulnerable. You can let your guard down, and it typically allows me to build deeper connections faster. So that is one positive about stuttering. Does talking about stuttering help you feel better because you're not defined by your disability? Um, yeah, I think radical honesty, for the most part, is fantastic. The more we're willing to talk about a thing, the less power that thing has over us. So I think that's great. Um, with that being said, your question regarding um, talking about stuttering, so I'm not defined by my disability. I mean, my content is dedicated to spreading stuttering awareness and education. So, in a way, I kind of am defined by my stuttering because that's what people online know me as the guy that stutters. Um, so I mean, I know that I'm more than that. Um, but it is interesting that that balance, though. Hey, randomly flicking through YouTube, and I found you. I have a work colleague who stutters a lot. I suspect it makes them self-conscious. Any advice for how I can help them? Yeah, so typically stutterers are self-conscious about their speech, It's not a guarantee. Maybe your coworker is super comfortable with it and accepts it. Um, uh, but my advice is when you speak with him, do not guess their words for them. Do not rush them. So just like patiently wait for them to get their words out. Most of the time, it's just a couple extra seconds. And yeah, it may seem annoying, but imagine what it's like for the person that stutters. They're stuck with it all day, every day, versus the 5 minute interaction that you may have with them. So yeah, so there's that. I would also say something like, "Hey, I just wanted to share that I've noticed that you stutter sometimes. Do you have certain preferences that you like for your listeners when you're stuck? Do you want me to guess your words for you or not? Do you want me to maintain eye contact or not?" That would make them feel so great that you took the time to just ask them, because most people don't. Travis, do people tell you to breathe when you stutter? They tell me that, and it makes me angry and sad. Yeah, um, they do tell me that, uh, and and it's interesting that like I know most people are just trying to help, but people are so willing to give advice on something that they know so little about, and like you're assuming that it's never crossed my mind to to breathe more. uh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I know that the intent is sincere, so I'm typically cool with it. But sometimes I just think, dude, like I've been dealing with this for decades. I've looked into if breathing can be helpful. Did you always stutter, or was it brought on by an event? I started stuttering in the third grade, when I was 8 or 9 years old. And my parents do not recall anything that sparked it. It's just that I started stuttering. As a speech therapist, has it had a positive impact on your clients, that they see that somebody with a stutter can have a career, and are they following your journey here? Um, yeah, so most of my clients have been very positive with the fact that I stutter. Most of them like that I can resonate with them on this level, that I just kind of get it. I've got a lived experience that most speech therapists don't have. Um, are they following my journey here? I don't know. Um, I know at least one of my clients does. I I I I haven't really shared with too many of them that I do this. I don't want it to seem like I'm forcing my content on them. So if they find it spontaneously and want to talk about it, great. But I won't uh, just mention it to them. Have you ever watched the movie The King's Speech? One of the best movies I've seen. Yeah, that is a solid movie and a great depiction of how stuttering impacts your life, where it feels um, debilitating sometimes, and just terrifying and frustrating and sad and embarrassing and all that. Yeah, yeah, they did a great job with that movie. How do you handle people interrupting you? Typically, if I'm talking with them and I'm stuttering and then they jump in, I will just put my hand up like that, and that is a sign to just wait. And most people get it after that first time. If they keep doing it, then I mean, at this stage of my life, I'm pretty comfortable saying, "Hey, I stutter. I I like to be given time to speak for myself." Um, and then they mostly get it then. If they're still interrupting me after that, I may just be done with the conversation and walk away. And they definitely get it at that point. Isn't there any therapy for speaking to help with your stutter? Yeah, there is speech therapy. There are strategies to use when you talk. So your stuttering is typically reduced, and 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 you don't stutter as hard. I use strategies when I'm not recording myself. Um, no strategy is guaranteed to work 100% of the time. Um, I I choose to not use strategies here because I I'm spreading awareness about stuttering. This is what my stutter is like, and 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 a lot of people don't really know that that stuttering can look and sound like this, and there are some stutterers that don't have strategies that they know. So by posting these videos, I'm hopefully showing them that you can still live a life if you stutter, and stuttering is okay. Hi, have you ever been to Hungary or any other European cities? Ooh, Hungary, no, but I, I, I traveled the world for a couple years actually, in between my uh, undergrad degree and my graduate degree. So I've been to Europe quite a few times. Yeah, I enjoy traveling a lot. Um, I found stuttering in countries where English is not the main language is difficult. Maybe I'll share some of those experiences someday. Um, hey, so basically, this TV show said to help stutters is to think of the word or sentence 3 times before saying it. Hope that good info uh, works. So I appreciate that. That is false, though. Stutterers know what they want to say, and they know how to say it. It's just that our bodies sometimes don't let us get our words out smoothly. It is not an issue with thinking. So thinking about our word that we're stuck on, and saying it in our head 3 times will not do anything. Um, Now, with that being said, um, the the aspect of that that could be helpful that gets overlooked is when you do that, you are putting pauses in your speech, and that breaks up your speaking pattern. And by doing so, sometimes you will not stutter. It is not a guarantee. It will not work all the time. It is not the thinking of the word that can make you not stutter. It is changing your speaking pattern. But that strategy is false information. So I'll say that. Ooh, coyote time for $5 super chat. Thank you. Sorry, people are trolling you. I'm so sorry. Sorry, people troll you. I admire what you're doing. I actually find it relaxing to listen to you speak like your patience is contagious. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard that from some other people too. I think maybe we live in a more fast-paced world where we're used to having things occur very quickly, and with a stutter that can't really happen, so we're forced to pause, and and that's just kind of different today. So thank you for your super. Has someone ever walked away while talking to you? Yeah, for sure. I I I sometimes try to build my confidence by walking up to strangers and starting a conversation, and a lot of people will just walk away from me when I start stuttering. Maybe they think that I'm on something. I don't know, but yeah. Props to you, my guy. You've helped me understand people who stutter more. Thank you. I love that. My dad always told me to try and slow down and think about uh, sorry, and think what I'm about to say to stop stuttering. That is uh, that advice will not help. So there is something to slowing down your rate of speech that can be helpful. However, um, there there is a misconception that we need to to focus more and think more about what we want to say before we say it. That is not a stuttering issue. Stutterers know what they want to say, and they know how to say it. We just sometimes get stuck on our words, and 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 it's got nothing to do with that. We haven't thought about what we want to say. Um, That advice is offered a lot by people who don't know enough about stuttering. Most stuttering people I've seen said it's best to just wait and let them finish. Yeah, most of us would say that for sure. Um, we, we've got a lot that we want to say and express, and it gets frustrating when other people speak for us. Sam, the goat, for a $5 super chat, said hi. Hello, Sam the goat. Thanks for your support. Thank you. What if you intentionally stutter for a bit so it becomes something you're trying to do, and then you try stopping? Uh, I'm sorry if that's insensitive, but making it a conscious effort might trick the brain. Yeah, so stuttering on purpose is often called pseudo stuttering or fake stuttering. Um, yeah, and we can do that. I can stutter, or I can fake stutter when um, I know that I won't really stutter, uh, and that can be useful sometimes. But sometimes, once you fake stutter, it turns into a real stutter. So there's not really as much control as you would think. um, I get your point of trying to trick the brain, but you will still stutter, uh, without wanting to. So so I don't think trying to offset it with fake stutters would also help to rebalance it out and to not stutter anymore. But that's a neat thought, though. Oh, Sam, the goat, for another super for $2. Thank you. Brandon Rogers, for $5 super. Is it more harmful or helpful if someone were to step in and help you if someone is giving you a hard time in public over your stutter? Ooh, this probably depends on the person. Uh, I I think that if you notice someone being mean, then you should jump in. Um, Maybe if you know the stutterer, you can talk about it beforehand of what their preferences are. Um, I The other day was playing volleyball with some people. Most of them I knew. There was one person who was new, and didn't know me, so she didn't know that I stuttered, and and so she introduced herself to me, and then I tried to introduce myself to her. I was stuttering a lot. She started laughing, um, and that didn't feel good. And then I kept trying to say my name. She kept laughing, so I asked her to hold on a second for me, and then I tried to say my name again, and she kept laughing. So I was around two people who knew me, knew that I stuttered. I I'm not close friends with them, but they were right there, and they didn't say anything, and that really sucked. Uh, but I also could have said, "Hey, I stutter. Please don't laugh at me." But it also feels good when someone else has your back, and there have been times in different situations when I've had friends that have jumped in and had my back, and that's great. So I would say help them, uh, but then talk about it with them as well, and ask if that was okay. Hello, Travis. I'm 20, and I also stutter, but I think about it a lot, and it makes it worse. Yeah, same. The more that stuttering is on my mind, the more self-conscious I become about it, the more I want to not stutter. And that is a tricky thing because if you want to talk but you don't want to stutter, then you will start switching words, or you'll just start to talking less because you can't stutter if you don't say anything. So my advice would be to to start talking and and letting out your stutter sometimes. If you stutter, that's okay. Um, I've been stuttering for an hour and a half almost, and I'm okay. So you will be too. Uh, I've I've got a question. How do you find this situation? Like, is it annoying to you? Are you sad about this, or do you just don't care? I hate stuttering. I am frustrated by it every single day. I I wish that I could never stutter again. It is annoying. It's upsetting. I want to express myself, but I feel like I can't. I feel like most people don't want to take the extra time to listen to me. I I feel like a burden. I feel less than. People laugh at me because of my stutter. It does not feel good. Um, Now, with that being said, I have pretty much accepted that stuttering is part of my life. I I know that I stutter. I know that I will stutter, um, but I still hate it. I don't mind stuttering at all. I make sure to let people finish their sentences at their own pace. I have time to listen. I love that. Thank you. Um, Most stutterers would love that as well. We we just want to be given the time to express ourselves. We know that it takes more time. We're self-conscious about it. We talk less because of it. If you are willing to wait patiently, that is huge for us. So thank you. How are words and their structures envisioned in your mind? Is it like a dyslexia for speech processing? No. So stuttering is just when we physically try to talk out loud. So there's nothing in our minds that that's really different as we prepare to speak, or as we're stuttering. We don't see words differently. It's just that our words get blocked and stuck. When you drink, do you stutter less? So I'll say, research is a bit mixed. However, it appears to be that the majority of stutters, when they drink, they will stutter less. Now, drinking impacts your brain, so your processing and your timing, it gets affected. So often you will stutter less. Likewise, when you are drinking, you tend to care less about what you're doing, how you're being perceived. So that could play into it a bit too. When you drink too much, your speech will suffer greatly. So there's a sweet spot with drinking to where you appear to be more fluent, and then it's just downhill. For those reasons, I do not drink. I might drink once a year. I find it very tempting to have a substance that makes me more fluent, and I don't want to abuse that because it is tempting to not stutter as much. So I just stay away from it for the most part. Um, yeah. Do you have a kid? I do not have a kid. I hope to be a father one day. Do you play golf? I love golf. Well, I love playing golf. I rarely do it though. I hope that that I get out there this summer though. I also stammer a lot, but when I sing, I can sing like normal. Yeah, that is typical for most stutterers, actually. We can sing without stuttering. How old are you? I am 34. What was your experience like with school when you were a child as someone who stutters? Were your teachers and peers understanding or not as much? How has that impacted you as you've grown up? Ooh, a lot there. I started stuttering in the third grade, so so from then on, I was self-conscious about talking. I knew that that most of the kids in my actual class knew that I stuttered, but I was embarrassed, so I pretended to be shy, and I rarely talked. Um, I would just talk for the most part if I knew that I could get a word out without stuttering. So I would never answer questions when I was called on. I would never read out loud. I would never do presentations in school. I worked it out with most teachers that I would do a one-on-one presentation with them during lunch. Um, and I felt like I didn't have many friends in school because I wasn't willing to, to talk to them and build connections. So I hated school because of my stutter. Um, it really impacted me severely. Most of my teachers were decent about it. Um, and a lot of kids in my school did not know that I stuttered uh, because I would rarely talk. So I would imagine if I went to a high school reunion now, people would probably think, "Oh, what happened to you since high school that you talk like this?" And And then I would have to explain, no, I talk like this back in high school too. I would just never talk because of it. So you only heard me speak when I would barely stutter because I was always self-conscious. So yeah, so that's that. Um, a quick question: are the stutters just speech, or does it happen to be the thoughts as well? Yeah, so stuttering just impacts the way that we speak. So it'll only happen when we talk out loud. Our thoughts do not stutter at all. What causes stuttering? Uh, so, so we don't truly know what the cause is, but the most common factors are genetic and neurological. So differences in brain function and structure. Do you have kids? No, I do not. Not yet. Hopefully, one day. All right, I've reached the bottom of the chat, so I will call it here. Thank you to everyone who sent in super chats, and thank you to everyone who wrote in questions. I will try to be back Thursday, maybe not Thursday. Um, I'll try to be here Thursday around the same time. Maybe it'll be Friday. But thank you for your support, and take care. Bye.